So Chris Eubank Sr. wants the Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn fight off. He's spoken on it just over a week before the fight is actually going to happen. He wants it off. He says that it's dangerous for Junior's health and for his career, and it's saying that the fight's destroying the career of Conor Benn. And he's saying that the whole thing is an absolute clown show, which shouldn't have been allowed to happen. But the public, journalists have allowed it to happen. And, you know, I do get where he's coming from. 100% I do. It's a big money fight. And as Senior said, Junior's just looking at the money. He wants the money out of this fight. He's not looking at what this fight could do for his health in a negative way. And saying that it might not even be the right fight for his career in general, and saying it's probably destroying the career of Conor Benn because, you know, with him moving up to 160 for this fight, or 159, whatever it's at, it is at 160. But yeah, then he's saying there's not really any moving back down. Anyway, let's see what Senior had to say.
Smaller guy in Conor Benn he has had his career destroyed for one guy, because once you go up to 160, going down to fight then at 147, it doesn't work. These rules are in place to provide a rail for him for his career.
That is true. I mean, you know, there's weight classes for a reason. That's what he's saying. And going into this fight for both guys, that's not the case whatsoever. There's no, you know, there's nothing about weight classes at all. You know, both guys are coming out of their weight class, really. I mean, it is at 160 where Junior's been fighting, but the rehydration clause can be very dangerous. And, you know, Senior's experienced that himself with his opponents. So that is something. And Conor Benn moving up to 160, he's not going to be able to go, but it's going to be difficult to make it back down to 147 afterwards.
My son coming down from 168 to 160 puts his life in danger, because I know what it is. I know what it is to lose that type of weight.
And with the rehydration clause, even though he hasn't recently been fighting at 160 and all, but, you know, he's losing that weight anyway, even though he's naturally a 168 guy. That's the point I believe Senior's trying to make. And with that rehydration clause down at 160 as well, that is something. And the fact that going into that first fight, they wanted to make it even worse and tried to make Junior go down to 157 with the rehydration clause. Look, I think it is bad that it has to happen, especially, you know, after everything that Benn pulled last time. I don't think there should be a rehydration clause, and it is dangerous for the fighter's health. Eubank Jr. is getting much older now as well. It's only going to affect him even more. So I do get the concern.
Middleweight Championship of the World came into play in 1991, and we were the first two to fight for it, because the weight between light heavy
and Watson.
middle,
obviously, you know, everyone knows what went on with him and Michael Watson in the end.
I want you to ask Barry why. We are fighters. I'll fight him at any weight. That's how we talk. That's how we think, because we're not going to have our courage challenged. Why was he made to come in at 11 stones 10?
Yeah, he also said, you know, we'd never be in Junior's corner after everything that's gone on as well. That is completely, you know, done now. Senior's not going to be in the corner of Junior come fight night. He doesn't agree with everything going on, calling it a clown show, which, I mean, in a way it is. Like, it's a fight which is just there for the money because of the fathers. Eubank Jr., you know, he could have done lots more with his career. Conor Benn could have done more with his career, but avoided fights himself. They both could have had bigger fights, but they've avoided bigger fights so they can fight each other in a fight, you know, where there's many weight classes in between them. Junior needs a rehydration clause on him, and Conor Benn is going up by quite a few weight classes for it, and you know, as Senior's trying to say, it's going to be difficult for him to make the cut back down. Let's go here.
My son having to boil himself down to 160. 3 years ago, they were talking about him coming down to 157. What is that? This is daylight murder. And when I say murder, you say, well, oh, Chris, that's a bit too strong.
Daylight murder. I mean, you know, again, it makes all the sense in the world. The fact that a fighter is they can't rehydrate after the weigh-ins, they're going to be screwed come fight night. And when you're in there against, when you're in there against someone who's going to be 100%, even though they aren't, they're coming up in weight, but Benn's still going to be 100% on the night. Junior's not going to be. And with everything that went on with the drug test and all that, it shouldn't really be the case. Both guys should be 100% going into this fight. And that is why he's saying it's a clown show, because it's all going against the rules.
Yet my brother died at the hands of the promoters. 20 losses in 27 fights. Being brought in as fodder. Do you understand? So I don't have any...
to be fair, he is very educated on the topic in general as well. So, I can't disagree with what Senior is thinking about this fight. I mean, obviously him and Junior aren't getting on right now at all. So it is understandable why he doesn't condone what's going on with it all. He did say in the Seconds Out interview about, he didn't agree with Eubank Jr. throwing eggs and stuff at Conor Benn, and, that he's not going to be in this corner. He doesn't really want to concern himself with the clown show of this whole thing. Like, him and Nigel was completely different to what's going on with Junior and Conor Benn.
Experience. I'm speaking about truth here. It's real for me. My brother died. Frontal lobe dementia. I didn't have the strength of character to go and see him in the last 6 months of his life. And
this is where he even gets upset about the situation as well. Look, he doesn't believe it should be happening. He said it from the off as well, from even when it was meant to be happening 3 years ago. He's always been against this fight happening. He's always been against the fight happening. He's kept his stance on it. And understandably, and now his son's going into this fight, and he could be doing some serious damage to himself with everything going on. And I think the way Eddie Hearn's handled himself and everything that's gone on with everything in this whole fight with the last 3 years, I think's been an absolute shambles, to be honest. And then we've got another
scratch worktops. Looks like you need a kitchen makeover from Joe.
Thank you.
So, you mentioned legacy. Legacy. Long-lasting effect of a particular event. That's what it means. Okay? What me and Ben did, there wasn't any bad language. Okay? We didn't get into a fight outside of the ring in the studio because we had to be noble.
He disagrees with the whole promotion of this whole fight as well. Again, I get where he's coming from, but the whole thing has made the fight hype and is, selling the fight to the public, getting people as interested as possible.
We are a country. We are Great Britain. I rest. Do your job. What do I do? What does the dad do if the son won't listen?
He's saying, Eubank Jr. is completely just doesn't care. He's just looking at the money. He's not listening to him and his stance on this fight even happening. And, you can't disagree with where he is coming from. There are big fights for both of Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn to take, world title fights, but they've decided to go up against each other for this fight and putting health at danger and putting, destroying careers in Senior's opinion. He's not wrong. He's not wrong about this whole fight. He isn't wrong at all. He's got many good points. It's for the casual viewers, this fight. It is. For the hardcore viewers, it's Junior and Benn taking world title fights. This is one for the casual viewers. And it's putting fighters' health on the line, especially for Junior. So